Hello, Genial Gamer Gal here, back with episode 2 of Game Pickup Reviews. If you would like to suggest a video game for me to review, please check out my video game pickup videos and suggest a game you would like for me to review. Today I'm going to review a Nintendo Wii game, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the story in this game. And when you start this game, you are noticing that it is Princess Peach's birthday. Mario and Luigi are there, and so are all the Toads, celebrating her birthday with a nice cake. And in comes along the party pooper, Bowser Jr. And what happens? He kidnaps Princess Peach, runs off, and Mario, Luigi, and the Toads try and chase her down, and they wind up having to try and save her. So this is the classic Mario story since the beginning on the NES with Mario Brothers, where Mario always had to try and save Princess Peach. So I love that they didn't change it. Classic nod to the Mario Brothers story. It's really something everybody's familiar with, everybody's used to it, and it does not get old. I have no problem with the story staying the same. It's classic to me, and I love it that they didn't change it. Next, let's talk a little bit about the graphics and the music. The graphics in this game are clear, they're bright, and they're very charming. I feel it has kind of an updated old school feel. You're used to seeing the Mario characters and the game characters and the scenery. It's familiar, but it's also updated. So I think it's clean, it's bright. They've done a really good job with the graphics. I have no complaints with the graphics whatsoever. I didn't notice anything strange about them. For the music, I think the music is great. I think it matches the world's mood and their themes. And you can also hear the classic Mario tunes from the old Mario games. So it's pretty much kind of a base of an old Mario tune, and it has a little fresh twist to it. So I really enjoy hearing some of the old Mario themes in this game with a little bit of a fresh twist to it. This music I feel is also catchy, and the fact that the enemies dance to this music once in a while cracks me up. So overall, graphics and music, I would give it a thumbs up. I have no problems with the graphics or the music at all. I think it fits the game very well. Moving on to the controls. So for this game, you can use the Wiimote alone, and you have to turn the Wiimote sideways in order to play this game because you're going to utilize the D-pad and the buttons. You can also use it with the nunchuck, so you can connect the nunchuck to the Wiimote and have the nunchuck in one hand and the Wiimote in the other hand. And I have not quite gotten used to that, so that is not really my preferred method of playing. I prefer to play with the Wiimote sideways. It's a little more familiar to me and kind of screams more classic Mario playing with the controller. So that's how I like to play the Mario game. Now, unfortunately, you cannot use the classic controller or the classic Pro controller because this game has a couple of motion controls that are necessary to control some of the power-ups and such, but everything else is pretty much the same. The D-pad, you use for running, and there's jumping, and there's even some double and triple jumps, and you can pick up and throw and wall jump. So there's a little bit of a mixture from the older Mario games and ways to control your character. Honestly, I could have done without the motion controls and would have rather played with the classic controller because that is how I'm used to playing Mario games, but I'll take the Wiimote sideways. That's fine for now. Other than my little gripe, I have no problem with the controls. It's responsive, and whenever I want Mario to jump, he jumps, no problems. As far as controls go, I have no problems other than that little gripe. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of this game. So clearly, New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a 2D platformer. And for this, you can have 1 to 4 players. So it's Mario, Luigi, and 2 of the Toads. And what is interesting about more than 1 player is you can add and drop players during the game. So if you start a 2-player game with your friend and all of a sudden he has to go home and leave, you can drop that player while you're actually in the game and start playing it single player. So I kind of like the fact that when you start a game or have a save game and you have one with maybe 3 players in it and you're by yourself, and you can kind of boot them off and play it by yourself. I love how you're not locked into your player choice. So if you can have 2, you can have 3, you can drop them when you need to, and you don't have to start a new save game. So I like that feature. It's pretty awesome. If you are playing with 2 or more players, you can bump each other. And I have noticed playing with my husband that we've accidentally bumped each other and caused each other to die. So you do have to be careful with that aspect. Bit of a challenge there. But other than that, I love playing 2 or more players. I think it's a lot more fun when you play with the friends. So I love that they added more players to this game. So the rest of the gameplay in this game is pretty much a mixture of Mario Brothers from the NES, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, and 64. They kind of took a little bit of each and mixed it all together. What I mean by that is there are 8 worlds in this game, pretty much like how Mario games are. And there's 2 bosses, one midway, there's a castle you have to defeat, and then there's a castle at the end of the world that you have to defeat before you move on to the next world. So that is pretty much Super Mario Brothers 3, so a little bit of a mixture there. And as you're going through each level in the world, there is a midpoint flag. So once you pass that midpoint flag, if you die after that, it allows you to continue from that midpoint flag, which is pretty awesome. And that's kind of a nod to Super Mario World. So you can see that they have little mechanics from each of the Mario games. Also back from the older Mario games, such as Super Mario 3 in particular, are the Toad Houses, which you can enter and helps you gain power-ups. And there's also the matching game, which helps you get power-ups, kind of like the card matching game in Super Mario 3. So there's some game mechanics from each of the old games, and I love that they brought some of the old and mixed it in with the new. And speaking of new, there are new power-ups in this game. First, there is the Ice Flower, which lets you freeze your enemies and then you can throw them or do a jump pound move on them to kill them. Next is the Penguin Suit, which helps you not slip on ice and also helps you swim better. The Propeller Suit, which allows you to fly for a short time. And also the Mini Mushroom, which shrinks Mario so you can fit into tiny spaces. Now, there's still the traditional power-ups that most of us are used to, like the Fire Flower, the mushroom that makes Mario grow, or the star that gives invincibility, but I love how they added some new power-ups. Again, mixing the old with the new, a refreshing take, and I don't feel that these new power-ups take anything away. In fact, I think it makes it more fun. Overall, I feel the gameplay is a mixture of nostalgia with some new refreshing twists, which I feel makes the game more enjoyable. Alright, and here are my final thoughts of the game. Overall, I have been enjoying this game a lot. It mixes the old with the new, so it's more of a classic refresh of the Mario Brothers games that you know and love. And I don't feel it takes anything away from it. In fact, the new additions I feel complement the game. Again, I would have preferred to play this with the classic controller. That's how I'm used to playing Mario games. But playing with the Wiimote isn't too terrible, it's just a little awkward and you need to get used to it. Overall, I am very glad that I have added this game to my newly acquired Wii collection, and if you have not played this game, you definitely need to. I have been enjoying playing this game and I highly recommend it if you have not played it to play it and own it. Alright, that wraps it up for this video. Please let me know what you think of Super Mario Bros. Wii, and if you have any game suggestions that you would like for me to review, please leave them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.